It sure is a good day to go fishing. Sun's shining in the sky, there isn't a cloud in sight. Huh? A notification from YouTube? Wonder what it is. Pretty sure I uploaded recently. Well damn. Hey guys, been a while, huh? Fishing though. Cool little side feature devs like to put in their games. Stardew Valley's got it, Goalkeeper's got it, even Terraria's got it. Now we all are playing Terraria here, yeah? Probably wouldn't be watching otherwise, so don't know why I asked. But at one point I had a random thought. Can Terraria be beaten using only boulders? And then I did that. So what logically follows? Fishing. Yeah. And just to start, let's set some ground rules on what I mean by beating Terraria using only fishing. All my items used must be obtained by fishing. So armor can only be crafted from bars out of crates. Weapons can only be gotten from fishing, directly from crates, or fished up by enemies. Items can also be gotten from angler quests. That's it. But to make this run work, there are a few exceptions, such as needing a house for the angler to live in, which means I'll need wood and gel. Dirt and types of dirt are also allowed, because I mean it's dirt, what am I going to do, craft the zenith. The only NPCs I will be using are the angler, merchant for a bug net, and goblin tinkerer for reforging, and the tinkerer's workshop to fuse accessories acquired from the methods mentioned previously. Fallen stars can also be used to get mana. Oh, and by the way, when I say I can only get items these ways, I mean it. Life crystals, you mine them? Wake up dude, it's 2024. We only fish them out of crates these days. Also, yes, Shimmer is allowed. To all of that said, let's jump into the riveting world of fishing in Terraria. To start, I wanted to use as little non-fishing items as possible, to remain true to the run. So I headed to the jungle, with nothing. Yeah, stupid I know, but I wanted a fiberglass fishing pole. But don't get too excited. It's half an hour, and one T-edit search later reveals there was none present in my world. 5 minutes of slight annoyance and world generation later, and we're in a new world, which actually contained one this time. With our first fishing pole, we could finally start this journey to hell. I would really like to say and back, but this run took such a mental toll on my brain, I couldn't fight my way back. However, a fishing rod is only half of this delightful trip out with your granddad. Now we need some bait. And what better than the age-old classic, worms in a tin can. After searching every surface chest I could get my grubby little fisherman hands on, I had a grand total of 27 worms, one of them pink ones, and a golden one. With everything I needed to fish, there was one more objective. Mission, get the angler. And would you look at that? Spells out GTA. That's pretty funny. Just try to ignore me dying in the background to crimson enemies repeatedly, because I can't fight back. Yay. With the spawn of Satan secured, I headed back to spawn where I set up 2 small houses, which I can't even make look nice because of the rules of the challenge. That's besides the point, because the purpose of this was to get the angler to move here. I didn't want him within 5 feet of me, but I brought this upon myself. For my first task, the angler asked for a guide voodoo fish, so being the good little slave that I am, I happily, heavy quotation marks there, retrieved it, and for my efforts I got bait and potions. You're gonna see a lot of that in this video. Before heading off to find a sky island, I built a 3rd house for the merchant to move in, and he must have thought it was the most prime real estate he had ever seen, because he was there in literal seconds. Back to the sky islands though. Normally we celebrate when we find one of these, but this time, no. These virgin sky islands have nothing on the Chad Sky Lakes. Why get stuff instantly when you can just fish for it? One sky lake can provide everything you'd ever want from sky chests, just packaged in a neat little crate that takes hours to find one of. We're back on that fishing grind. And we're back to getting potions and bait. Great, just great, yeah, that's what I want, not a bottomless water bucket or a golden fishing rod, thanks angler. Real class mate, real class. After gathering stone and making a furnace, I made lead bars from ore I got from a crate at some point, and used those to make an anvil, for one of the most important items of pre-hard mode. The bucket. With the bucket in hand, I made a hole using some bombfish and made a whatever you call this thing. We'll call it a water duplicator 5000 for now. It has a name, shoot it my way in the comments, because I don't know. After a quick fishing sesh, I cracked open 10 wooden crates. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Except from the swiftness potions and iron ore, I guess you could say. My disappointment didn't end there. After dying, because I still have no weapon, I got nothing from crates and more potions from the angler. And I mean, they're good potions. You gave me fishing potions, the most useless of the three. Don't fret though, because Master Bait is here to guide us through these dark times. Bless it. With our first lot of Master Bait obtained, the video really starts here, letting us fish up more and more crates to get those juicy bars. You know what else is juicy? Ocean loot. So after finally finding a skylight to the far left of my world, I cast my rod into the briny depths, and to my surprise, I managed to get all the fish tools, as well as the swordfish. Also, as a side note, I will not be upgrading these tools using bars in the future. And then the angler finally came through. The fuzzy carrot, albeit not the best mount, is a mount nonetheless and lets me traverse faster. For fishing purposes, of course. But I kinda brushed over that skylight there, so let's head back and get down to business. And by business I mean fishing. It's always gonna be fishing. With 2 frog legs and a bunch of crates, it was upwards and upwards, because god damn am I gonna jump high after sewing these to my flesh. Speaking of flesh, we got the falcon blade from an iron crate. A weapon 90% of you have probably never used because it's just outclassed by pretty much every good pre-boss option. The only thing it has going for it is its high base damage than most weapons, and the fact that I can only use weapons from fishing. With a surprising twist of fate, the angler continued to provide me with good items, and by far the best one he could have given me to start with. The high test fishing line prevents the line from breaking, which is great because I absolutely hate fishing, seeing the rare drop with a sonar potion, and then having the line break. It's the same feeling as finding that one thing you've wanted to buy for ages for a reasonable price, and then seeing the horrendous shipping cost from some foreign country you've probably never heard of. Yeah, it's that annoying. But it's fine, because for some reason the moment I popped out the womb, God set my luck stat to wherever I want it to be when I want it to be, and also not. Right now I'm fishing in the desert, and in the first 2, I think it was oysters, we already have a pink pearl, which I'm 67% sure is a 1 in 60 drop, but correct me if I'm wrong, I'm too lazy to check. With a slowly accumulating pile of bars, I made a platinum chest plate which won't last long because I'll be switching to gold later. Speaking of... frick, don't know how to transition it. Anyway, it doesn't matter, we have shimmer now, and that pink pearl is going straight in there to boost our luck, and the gold worm to boost our fishing power too, both of which will affect me, but I'll have no idea how, just know it's good. And here's where my luck dips. After making a hole in the ice biome and doing a whole 8-minute fishing session, I came out with a measly 38 daggerfish. At that point just give me none and let me search the wiki questioning if the item even exists. But our movement build isn't done just yet. Back at the Sky Lake and we're fishing up crates for a lucky horseshoe to combine with other accessories later. And more crate potions, I guess. You know, the more I write this script, the more I think, damn, when 90% of the video is fishing, it's kinda hard to not make it repetitive and boring. But that's what we're doing. More fishing, in a different biome. Got some bar statues and Dune Rider boots though, and the angler gave me his chest plate, which I guess is pretty cool. Yeah, the shimmer! Oh, sorry, wait, we've done this already. Yeah, as I said, it's gonna get quite repetitive. Gold, that's the reason we're here. To shimmer platinum into gold, okay? Being a gold, we got a golden bug net. I question why this is... actually, never mind. I just remembered that it breaks grass. Wow guys, fishing! What an original and refreshing moment of this video. 338 spearfish? That's what I'm talking about. I can finally breathe for a moment. First boss fight of the run, and it's gonna be Skeletron. The sole reason we fished up the spearfish, and honestly these things put in work. They look like they'd be as useful as throwing magic daggers at a dungeon guardian, but let's just say these things are as effective as a shadow flame knife on a squirrel. Yeah, they're good. Oh, and there's my random luck popping in again to grace our presence with Chippy's couch. God, I love that man. After my slave tasks were done for the day, I got back to what we're all here for, fishing. But it's in the dungeon this time. And yes, I am allowed to use golden keys to access the lockboxes for loot. But more importantly, we've got a frickin' fisherman's pocket guy, baby. Can't wait to see how long it takes to get the other 2 accessories. Angler vest and another tiered search later, and we have no dungeon beds. I wanted one of these to minimize used items outside of fishing, but then I remembered hell exists, so you know, we could have had a bed within the first hour of the run, but I guess I'm just stupid. One slave status upgrade later, and we got ourselves a bottomless water bucket. A great item that's always obtained way past when it's useful. And here you'll see our first handful of life crystals, of which we'll be saving for later to avoid the Eye of Cthulhu and Goblin army. And a whole bunch of fishing quests later, and we got that frickin' golden fishing rod, baby. That's what I'm on about. I don't really know what to narrate here because all of the fishing is still pretty boring, but I got some more dungeon loot and an alchemy table, which I bet you guys never knew could be fished up, did you? Well, now you know. Go tell all your friends to show off that your 4,000 hour Terraria character actually meant a damn. But more importantly, we eat good tonight. Cobalt shield and a shadow key from one crate? Moving on from that epic gamer moment, we're in hell. Probably where I'll end up after God sees that of all the challenge runs I could choose, I chose fishing. And with our shiny golden bug net, I scooped up all the unsuspecting critters I could to fish up a whole bunch of obsidian crates, of which I shall be using the Dark Lance and Sun Fury. 3 hours later, we got a weather radio, and future editor me is probably just going to cut around some of these quests and show the good ones. And the life crystals. And just for context, Script2Me is looking at like 15 straight fishing quests, which is boring as hell for me and for you, I'm sure. And finally we get to the good bit. A sponge, which I will not be using, and a frickin' fish hook. I've been waiting for this thing for ages, and it's finally here. If you guys want to celebrate with me, I'm currently ing all around my house. But fishing doesn't stop for celebration. So with 7 life crystals, I top my health up to a clean 240. Not full health just yet, but it's enough to get me through to hard mode. 2/3 angler tackle bag ingredients later, and we actually need to break a crimson heart for golden armies to spawn. Something which I do, and I'm sure you guys do so often, I never knew it was a requirement. And then an evil presence was watching me. So I beat the Eye of Cthulhu in so hard that... Right, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even have a witty joke to put here. I was dancing around beating it so hard that it went into its mouth or something. Like a reference to transitioning to phase 2 or something, but that didn't feel good. Then the Goblin Schmuck showed up to brighten our day. And as with Eye of Cthulhu, these guys were easy peasy, RIP my money breezy. Especially since I have hell loot. And yeah, that was a reference to the weight of my pockets becoming lighter and lighter once I've unbound the Goblin Tinkerer, who I failed to see for about 20 seconds straight. Back home we were upgrading accessories, and I just realised I didn't comment on my getting the sextant, but that was earlier, so we'll avoid pointing out the first 3 letters and make a fish finder 3000, an angler tackle bag, and a shark run balloon, forgetting that I have a lucky horseshoe, and then reforging the item after the schmuck moved on. That's it, folks. We're all set to head into hard mode, so with a quick hell bridge to the left, a quick platform to the right, and a guide voodoo doll, and we are dropping straight into the fight. I did not mean to make that rhyme. Let me just check the time reel. Oh, would you look at that? It's already dead. Unfortunately, what's more dead is the grind we're back on fishing. It never stops, ever. Please save me from this fun. So much fun. I love having to fish up crate after crate after crate to get the hard mode bars instead of just mining them. Yep, that's me. That's me. But what's better than hard mode bars is life crystals. And an enchanted sundial, I guess, but we won't be saying this for long. Oh, and you just saw me get an anchor too, which I'll use. Not because it's good, but because I'm committed to the run. Almost as committed as the Goblin Tinkerer is when it comes to stealing my coins. But when we all think fishing and weapon, you probably think of the hard mode ones. So we're getting those next, starting with the blade tongue, and then we're off to the Hallow for a crystal serpent, which we didn't get because I guess my RNG decided no, but we did get Ichor earlier, and crystal shards from here, which will come in handy later, you'll see. And yeah, you're seeing that right, not even a minute later. Second sundial, and then a third. I'm sure you can see where this is going to end up going. I checked my pockets, and funnily enough they felt a bit heavy, so I made a pit stop at the Goblin Tinkerer, a master in fixing these types of problem. And before you start getting annoyed about it, I am allowing souls from crates to be turned into keys to summon mimics, mainly because you can't use them for anything else with this run, including the mech summons, by the way, because I can't get the drops from the enemies. Even though the drops from hallowed mimics are useless, the only use for these souls I have, so I'll take the crystal vial shard, along with some enchanted moon dolls and a life drain. Just gonna skip past some more quests, and would you look at that, it's a hotline fishing hook, which is gonna have one purpose: getting us an obsidian swordfish. A weapon with the same rarity of chlorophyte, but obtained earlier, which has one of the highest base crit chances in the game, but the range of a copper short sword, so I found literally no use for it. It's a case of a weapon looking good on paper, but it just isn't. Oh, and I also upgraded the tackle bag, so that's a plus. Bunch of quests later and we got another life crystal, but more importantly, the item we've all been waiting for, the fin wings, which for the effort it takes to get, should really be better than pixie and harpy wings. But this is immediately overshadowed by the tendon hook, the drop. I really want it. I'm talking on all fours, head on the floor, screaming. That is how much I wanted this hook. You know what else has been screaming? My defense, cause damn it's low. After a quick trip down to hell into the shimmer, and we got an adamantite helmet and chestplate. Now comes one of the least known items in Terraria that is so rubbish and so underpowered. Ignore the crystal serpent, it's the scaly truffle. This thing is the shrimpy truffle's disabled child. It has no infinite flight, isn't sped up in rain, and is just uglier. If you ignore all of that, you will see that it will be the saving grace of this run. Just you wait. With full adamantite drip, I made mage palladium armor because of my little build making voice thinking it would go well with the life drain. But then I never use it. More importantly, we got the weapon we'll be using for most of hard mode, the dart pistol. Fun fact, there isn't a single arrow type obtainable by fishing. This includes all types of crates and from quests, which is stupid, but you do get ichor and crystal shards. Both of which only require themselves to make darts, without a crafting station as well. Remember how we had to smash a crimson heart for certain things to happen? Turns out it's actually the same for hard mode, but with the altars. Main reason we need to do this is to get the mech bosses to spawn randomly, instead of using their summons, seeing as, well, I can't craft them. Speaking of the mech bosses, a couple nights and a goblin invasion later and we got Skeletron Prime first in line to receive a beating. So I obliged, and pulled out my urine-filled Glock, pushed it into his skull, and pulled the trigger. Until he died. Now, blood moons. I didn't know whether to include fishing enemy drops in this playthrough, but good old Waffle Time asked the question for me, so it's a yes. What ain't a yes, though, is the sanguine staff. But we got the Dripler Crippler, so yippee I guess. A bit more waiting for blood moons without any more Dread Nautilus, and the twins decided they wanted to be second in line for their beating. As they interrupted my blood moon fishing so rudely, I pistol whipped them right in the eye, I guess, until they decided they didn't like that anymore. They wanted to be whipped in the mouth and whatever you want to call this thing. Clearly the destroyer saw me take down the other two mechs and told the lunatic cultist to hold my beer, and proceeding to do something that he attempted to look cool at, but ended up failing and just looking like an idiot instead. The jungle is restless. Damn, Plantera really invite me down to bug turtle hell. Nah, I think I'm good. But yeah, I can't mine those ores in the arena. It triggers me immensely, as I'm sure it will a lot of you, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. Every playthrough has its lows, and let's just say we're almost there with this one. Fighting Duke Fishron pre-Plantera, and with my gear pre-mech, is like using a fork to eat soup. You try your best, but it's an absolute grind to get there. With a quick shimmer and change to the Ranger helmet, 2 attempts later and we got the Tempest Staff. Was going for a flare on, but I needed a summon anyways. Next I kinda moved back and forth between Plantera arena building and fighting Duke Fishron, getting a Razor Blade Typhoon that helped us to finally get a flare on, our weapon of choice for the rest of the game. Alright, now blink, and you might just miss it, cause Plantera was easy as hell. Probably because I have post-Plantera gear, but my armor and accessories probably balance that out. Same for Golem, easy boss. Straight to Cultist, because we on that boss grind right now. By the way, this part was recorded at midnight, but my brain was like, you might as well just do the Stardust Pillar since you're here, right? And, well, here we are. Alright, hot take. Nebula Pillar is harder than Solar Pillar. There, I said it. I can promise you, I am not the only one who thinks this. There is definitely other people, because like, there are just so many projectiles, and the brain scramblers sting, and they grab your head, and you can't see anything, and then you're just dead. Alright guys, final boss time. First try, let's do it. Never mind, second try. Try guys. No? Third try's the charm? No, guess not. Oh well. Main thing is though, we're getting better, and here's where the scaly truffle comes in. This mount is faster than Moon Lord by 5 miles per hour, letting us outrun the death rays, but it soon became apparent the main issue was healing, because I can't use Nurse, taking out the top eye before the other two. But the solution was simple. It was right there. It's been with us this entire time. We fish. Sanguine stuff? Yeah, we got that. Max life crystals? Yeah, that's easy stuff. Then we had it. One more death for dramatic effect? Hell yeah, of course. And finally, for the first time in recorded Terraria history, the whole game with strictly only fishing. Just as the video rounds out here, I just had to say a huge thank you to any of you who have stuck around all the way till the end. I can't say how much it means to me. I make these videos a lot out of passion. I really do enjoy making them, is what I'd like to say for all of them. This one was a little bit of a... it got me tweaking a bit, I ain't gonna lie. This one was a bit annoying to make. A bit hard, but thank you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I really want to make more videos, and if you subscribe, that really motivates me. So thank you.